It's time now for Your Money with Evans Financial. And joining us today in the studio is Colin Evans with Evans Financial. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us again.
Absolutely. Yeah, every week we love talking about ways to help people with their finances. And for the month of February, we're talking specifically about retirement myths.
There is quite a bit as we go into this retirement time, so we kind of dedicated the whole month to it.
Awesome. Yeah, so talking about different myths each week. So what is today's big myth?
You know, and it's come to our attention that the rumor has been you will spend less in retirement, and that is not always the case. You know, as we walk into that retirement time, there's some reality of things that occur, and the spending maintaining that we're doing now might not actually be the same when we go into that retirement time. You know, we kind of look at the way that we're budgeting and the way that you're living lifestyles and the things that you want to do in retirement. Some might kick back and they want to take it easy and say, I'll work my life and I don't want to do anything. Me, on the other hand, is going to be one of those, I want to travel, I want to see things, I want to experience things, and that's going to, of course, require a little bit of income and revenue. So kind of one of those things, like you might not always be spending less when it rolls into the retirement time frame. So you've got hobbies that can increase, just things like that that you literally want to start to think about. Healthcare, inflation, the other things that play in there. It rolls into our second one. Healthcare costs can actually be underestimated. And thinking about that, a good rule of thumb we've been told as financial professionals is taking the last year's income and multiply it times 3. So if you say you're making $50,000, multiply it times 3, giving $150,000, that's an approximate number for you to gauge what the rest of your life is going to be spent in healthcare. Okay? Prescriptions, doctor visits, appointments, surgery over the next 20, 25, 30 years. But it's just something to kind of keep in mind when you're looking at it. It's okay, I got premiums coming in when we're applying for Medicare. And is there long-term care that maybe I have to purchase to maybe worry about for something later down the road? So things like that are something that's not a lot of people always look at. And the last one we want to look at is, or pay attention to, which we all got caught up in this throughout our COVID era, is inflation. And we go into the retirement time frame and you're on a fixed income. Well, when the grocery store, we saw those increases that were 15, 20%, all the way to 50, going, oh my goodness, Uncle Sam is telling us inflation might be 3, 4, 5%. When we saw into that, big numbers, when we were really feeling the pain going to the grocery store, unfortunately, our government takes the food, fuel, and healthcare out of the inflation calculation. So when we hear, it's 3 or 4%, however, the grocery store budget didn't show us the same thing. It's like, well, that $200 is now smaller and smaller bags that we're carrying in through the front door. So you go into retirement time and you're on a fixed budget and on a fixed income. Inflation is something that can erode your purchasing power. Fortunately, Social Security has something called COLA adjustments, which stands for cost of living. And however, that's not really a bonus or an actual benefit other than helping those at retirement just keep up with inflation and not kind of go into the poorhouse with it. When you go into that retirement time, please make sure when you're visiting with a healthcare professional that you're looking at inflation, you're looking at healthcare, and a great thing of looking at the spending that you're going to have when you're going into retirement time. And one of our final recommendations, right before retirement, take a couple months and maybe try a mock spending of how you're going to budget. And you can kind of get a gauge of how this is going to go without having income, because you had 40 hours of a work week of bringing in income. Now you've got 40 hours of free time. It's like, what do I do? And for me, that's dangerous. That could be really dangerous. I want to go tinker at, Academy or Home Depot.
Or grandkids,
spending money on those things that you want to do. And your retirement time, this is the fun time that you work for. So there's a couple little nuances you want to pay attention to when you go into those retirement years.
Yeah, good advice. And so if someone is wanting to maybe work with your financial experts, how do they do that?
Absolutely. You can find us on the web at evansfinancial.com, or you can kick us an email to info@evansfinancial.com. Those do get copied to me, and I do love reading any comments or suggestions for any upcoming episodes, or questions. Feel free to email us or look us up on the web.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Colin. Again, for all your expertise, we're going to send it over to Patrick with the weather.